Blaney and Bowman on the front row. Ford versus Chevrolet, 2 Toyotas right behind them. And we'll listen to the 11 team. Chris Lambert, the spotter.
Off you about half out the back. Off you about half out the back. Still on. They're protected out back. About there just a 19. One back to the 1. He's put the 20.
Turn 2 again. And it's Kyle Busch. Hangs on to it, but somebody spins way up in front of him. And that's the 31, has gone around, and we're back to caution for Justin Haley.
Cautions breed cautions.
That's what they told us at drivers' meetings all the time.
And we were just talking about, I don't think we're going to, all right, I guess I was running my big fat mouth. I don't think we'll see that here. Just tells you, again, going back to our conversation about that low air and all this dirty air on these restarts.
Also, you know, aerodynamically, what's the difference now versus what it used to be with someone coming across your nose? Does that make a bigger difference than it used to?
Watch the 3 and the 18. There's the 31. Let's see what happened here. Austin Dillon comes up into the 31.
He certainly did, and that all started clear back at the start-finish line as far as I'm concerned. Stuck him 3 wide, got in down there, got loose underneath of him.
Still out there, tight on your right rear. Down 2, got him braking here, got him braking here, got him braking, whatever you need. Whatever you need, clear high, clear high, clear high.
And that Tootsie's in-car camera, every time I'm there, it's a wrecking in front of me.
All right, Kyle Busch has had a busy day. Hamlin wants the lead again. He led earlier for 16 laps.
Denny's such a steady driver. I always feel like when a race is long and attrition and, you know, you chip away at it, I always feel like Denny sort of emerges at the end. And by no means at the end right now, but obviously there have been a lot of cars that have had to work on it to get it either freed up or tightened up.
It's just such a smooth finesse driver. Anytime you've got grip level problems and things like that, slip and slide around like we see with this new car, you don't have to look any further than Denny Hamlin to get the job done behind the wheel.
Eric Jones just went top to bottom at the start-finish line, past 2 cars going into 1. He's going to get another 1 or 2 on the backstretch. Coming from 18th on the restart, he's picked off 5 already.
Now the difference you see with Keselowski versus Kurt Busch. Whoa!
Oh, Suarez into the wall off of Briscoe.
That's a tough day, you know, when you're just the recipient. Another off 4 loose. Was that off?
That was
loose
dirty
off
air.
4?
Chase Briscoe got in dirty air, got too high up behind. I couldn't really see who that was in front of him, but got loose just like we saw with Reddick and others, and unfortunately got right down into Suarez.
So you had Jones trying to move up in the 43, McDowell falling back in the 34, and the 14 up top, Briscoe.
Yeah, it looked like Briscoe was going to be able to get to the outside. Right at the last minute, McDowell came up, kind of made him pull on the wheel, try to get underneath of him. When he did, he got loose and unfortunately collected Daniel Suarez. It was minding his own business.
I wonder if he jumped out of it on exit when he came up. It looked like the 14 might have jumped out of it. Let's listen.
Again, going back to this, you can see McDowell, he gets loose right there. He wiggled and had to come up, and it was an evasive move is what it was on Briscoe's part. That same thing happened off of 2 in that earlier footage we had of a replay.
You're clear by 5. Kind of settle out behind you here. Everything's going to be up front. Watch these 2.
Pretty hard contact.
Hang on. Damn it.
That's a tough one to swallow. Doing nothing wrong. A product, really, of that 34 car on old tires having trouble. We saw him tiptoe again, going back to what we saw in front of Briscoe off of 2. He did it again off of 3 and 4 and finally crashed him. That's pretty significant damage on the left front of Briscoe as well.
So much easier to lose control of these cars this year.
Well, his teammate's having a good run here, and don't look now, but I'm telling you, this 18's coming. He's caught these guys. He's in 4th place, and I think he's going to get to the front and chase down his teammate. He's been all over the place today.
It's a gain 1 and 2 big time, but not as much as 3 and 4. Copy.
Kyle Busch restarted 8th. He is now up to 4th. Looking at Kevin Harvick, 12th with Chase Elliott, and Kurt Busch coming into the picture. Uh-oh.
Brett Keselowski.
Hold your lane, hold your lane.
And Ryan Blaney, and everybody scatters behind them.
I wonder if we're going to need if you're going to need a short car to win or a long run car.
Oh, Ryan Blaney with a lot of damage to the front of it, but I'm telling you, that's another 2-tire car right there, Keselowski. We've seen no tires staying out, not work for not only Kurt Busch, obviously Michael McDowell, and now 2 tires, Brad Keselowski. Have to see what happened here. Got loose. You can saw him on the bottom of the screen there, right in Ryan Blaney's lap, leaving him nowhere to go but right in the door of the 6.
And for the 3rd week in a row, Blaney has a fast car and gets into somebody's problem.
Oh, you can just leave the outside of it. Clear by 8. Hold the brake. Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
That in-car, listening to everything in that, reminds me so much of back in like 2005, 2006 with that old body style car like that, man. I'm telling you, you'd be wide open, hammer down, kind of thinking, I got it, pretty neutral, but not too loose. And all of a sudden, snap, boom, there she went. That thing came around fast, and when it did, there was no catching it.
Keselowski came wrong way up pit road, thought he could spin it into his pit, something he's done successfully before. Not that time with the tires down. 7 cautions already, only 4 here last September. Well, let's hear from the team principal of Team Trackhouse, Jamie.
And that's Justin Marks, a former driver in NASCAR's 2nd year as an owner. Last week it was Daniel Suarez running up front. Now Ross Chastain leading. What is this like for you in this new organization?
Well, I'm just proud of everybody. I mean, this is a big project, Trackhouse, and everybody that works for this company has bought into the promise, I think, that we have. So I hate it for Daniel and the CommScope team and the 99. Those guys are really getting something rolling. But Ross is showing what he can do in the race car. We got a yellow right now. But I'm just proud of everybody.
Thanks, Justin. Mike?
Between turns 3 and 4, Austin Cindric.
Chase Briscoe's got major front end damage. You can see the left front way out, but it all started Austin Cindric backwards.
So the first contact appears to be Eric Almirola and Austin Cindric.
In a big run, I don't know why, but I don't know if Austin Cindric was having trouble. Yeah, I think so. He was being pretty gingerly with it, getting off into the corner, maybe a flat tire left rear going down or something, and then gets into his teammate Harrison Burton, another victim of just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I tell you, something on the racetrack that Briscoe spun in front of them.
Let's ride with Chase Briscoe, the Mahindra onboard camera.
5-5 on the bottom. Spinning behind. We're in the wall here. We're in the wall. Hold the brake. Try and get it rolling. Try and get it rolling.
And now we'll look at the forward camera from Brad Keselowski.
And you see Chase spinning up in front of him, but then you see the 2 right behind him.
You almost think there's oil on the track or something like that. Somebody's dropping something. Because that top lane is really coming in.
And you saw Cindric backing up. I couldn't tell what was wrong. He was backing up because Chase Briscoe was spinning in front of him.
Yeah. And that 18's going to be really happy to know that he doesn't have to figure out what to do with those 9 laps that he couldn't make.
Right. Fuel mileage no longer an issue. Regan. Chase Briscoe has gone to the garage where he joins Ryan Blaney and Daniel Suarez. Larson and Chastain and Elliott to the restart.
Well, there's your guy, Danica. You're right. The 9 ball is showing up.
My crystal ball.
Tyler Reddick right around the outside, gaining ground. And they funnel down to 2 wide.
Certainly is, Mike, and that's such a great point. A guy that we had our eye on going into this had such a great race last weekend at California. Yesterday was pretty good. Fought in loose race cars. He's been spun out much like Kyle Busch all over the place during this race. But down to the wire here at the end of the race, look over and lo and behold, here comes the 8 car.
You know, since the start, Christopher Bell hasn't really gone anywhere. He's still there while he's not been leading. You know, moments I've forgotten about him, and then I go look, and he's not far off. So I bet they're continuing to make that car better and better, and I wonder how. Whoa! Just kidding.
Oh, he's gonna.
Oh.
You jinxed him.
Man, got loose on the bottom.
Everybody
chased
scatters.
it up.
Oh,
Harrison Burton spins, but no contact for either car is the big thing there.
Trusted it a little too much, I guess.
Any damage?
Danica,
Not hit anything. We're rolling. Tires up.
this is the you talked about him, you jinxed him that has plagued Fox Sports ever since we started this.
Oh, that doesn't look like fun right there.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Can't lose a lap.
Wow. Can't lose a lap. Well, can you get this thing calmed down, sir? I'm bouncing off the ground. My teeth are coming out.
Yeah, that's not a hydraulic popper there.
Let me tell you something. I love what I'm seeing right here. Well, obviously not bouncing around, but this car's moving back. For the first 2 races of the year, we couldn't get a car back with a flat tire. And from my knowledge, you see why that thing's hopping. The right rear's coming apart. Much like we saw the 8 and some of these other cars. Got to be careful. You can't knock the... If that thing...
Right rear is coming apart.
That's right. Yep. Blow the inner, and here comes the inner fender and everything else. It'll give him more fits.
These tires are coming apart really easily.
But what I was getting at is we couldn't get a car, Danica, for the first 2 weekends off the racetrack. If they had a flat tire like Christopher Bell right here, it wouldn't move. For whatever reason, this weekend they're able to do that. I don't know if it's a different tire because of what we're seeing here. Something's different.
All right, Bell is going to make it to pit road on his own. Let's take a look here.
The bumps. Bottomed out in that tunnel. If that you have to be right down on that white line. If you miss it by 2 feet, there for whatever reason, you can see he's just up just a little bit, and as soon as that thing got to bouncing, he was along for the ride.
Well, so now here's the battle. Do you lose laps getting pushed or lifted up and pulled to pit road, or do you do more damage trying to drive it in on the rim?
No. One way or another, in my opinion, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself here, these cars got to be able to drive back to pit road. They don't need to be jacked up and change tires, a tow truck to do it. Somehow, some way, they need to be able to drive back to pit road on their own power, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Now, the pits are not yet open, but Bell is in, and so is Eric Jones. Kyle Busch trying to win in 18 consecutive seasons to tie Richard Petty's record.
Coming to 3 to go here. 3 more.
I think that's exactly what's happened. You can see where he's starting to...
Oh! Eric Jones.
Stay low.
Still green. Nope. Caution now.
Yeah.
Jones back up the racetrack. Woo. That was too close for Bubba Wallace. He caught a little bit of Jones and then hard hit into the inside retaining barrier.
Keep rolling.
Well, this is certainly not what Kyle Busch wanted to see. Changes everything. Hard hit. A lot of right side contact with that 43 car of Eric Jones.
That 23 hit the wall really hard on the inside, and I know there was tires and it was pretty soft, but
he drove away.
it didn't look so bad.
Yeah. Oh.
However, that 43 got a lot of damage.
Jones under Tyler Reddick.
Oh, he's
running
loose.
7th.
Got loose and overcorrected. Much like Chastain did in practice session at California.
And the car won't steer at all, so he couldn't keep it from coming around here and back up on the racetrack. Now watch Bubba Wallace. See, just missed Eric Jones, but loses control.
And then about hit the pace car pulling out.
That's not very comfortable for a driver when the wheel's locked up and you have no control. You're just waiting for the thing to stop.
And you're going to go
luckily
kiss.
It didn't hook. Luckily it didn't hook.
Kiss Bubba Wallace on the cheek as soon as you see him, because man, he made a move. He didn't hit him like he could have. Pulled the wheel as hard as he could, spun himself out into the wall to keep from hitting Eric Jones right in the door. That was an ugly situation that could have been much, much worse.
Now you can see what a torn up tire does to the bodywork. It was definitely affected, but that was all from the tire blowing up there.